Hey, good buddies, what's up, and welcome into the Good Buddies Anime Review. I am yo good buddy Roger.
And I am your good buddy Brandon.
You are their
Indeed
good
I am.
buddy Brandon.
Goodness, it's here. It's us. We're doing it.
It's the spooky season, so we're going to be working, for what recordings we're able to get out this month, we're going to be working on some spookier stuff.
maybe
kind of go inside with the channel. We're doing all the fun Halloween stuff. It's been great so far, but we're going to talk about an older anime this time. Good buddy had recommended it for a while. And Brandon, let me open this episode up by asking you a question, okay?
Hit me with it.
Look, if you had one wish
Oh God.
or one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted in one moment, would you capture it? Or would you just let it slip? Yo!
Oh, I really wanted you to just hit me with the fucking with the M&M right there.
Sweaty,
There it
knees
is.
weak, arms heavy, vomit on spaghetti already, mom spaghetti. Dude, normally you get to come in with a fun little monologue. You've thought of something, but dude, I had it ready.
Oh God.
If you had one wish,
Act like you've been there, man. Come on. That was very good, though. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it'd be like that. We're talking about, what's the full title?
Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Yes, that is what it's called.
Which, you know, I've said for ages, I've called it Madoka Magica, and I probably will still just shorten it
I'm
down
still
to
gonna
that.
call it Madoka Magica.
Yeah, Madoka Magica, but the way they pronounce it in the show, at least the way I watched it, was Madoka.
So did you watch, let's do this one first, subs or dubs?
I checked both.
Yeah.
I didn't watch them all the way through on both, but I checked them both out.
I switched back and forth quite a bit. I was doing subs when I was sitting there just really paying attention. If I was like eating something and couldn't watch the screen the whole time, I went dubs.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, interesting show. Obviously, we're gonna have to get a little bit spoiler. And this show came out in like
2012, yeah, something
11
like
or 12,
that.
one of those.
Yeah.
So you know, hey,
Yeah, don't
We gonna
at
talk-
me if
we gonna
we're
talk
off
about it.
by a year.
don't at me, bro. Don't at me.
Yeah,
When
but-
we spoil a little.
Yeah,
something
like
for
I
you.
said, our good buddy Josh has been asking us to check this one out for a while, and we finally got around to it on our 101st episode, season 2, baby.
Yeah, man. And boy, oh boy, is it some stuff. So.
Yeah, it sure is, man. So do you wanna break into it, dude? Do you wanna tell them how we're going to do this whole review process?
As we always do, this is going to be a review of a recommendation. We, your good buddies, are going to tell you, our good buddies, whether or not we think you should check out this here show. And the way we're going to do that is by, doing a little discussion.
Yep.
A little rating.
Yep.
And we're going to get on into it. And Roger, if it was just straight up trash.
Oh man, it'd be an anime, maybe not.
What if it was, not the worst, but not great?
Anime.
It's fine, it's average.
It's anime, baby.
It's pretty good, though.
My guy, it's anime most definitely.
But if it was awesome, Roger, if it was that good...
Ooh, it would be amazing.
It would be amazing. The way we're going to get there, though, is we have 5 different little categories. We're going to discuss each of those categories a possible 2 stars for a total possible 10 stars. That is how math works.
That is
and
how it
Roger,
works.
what is that first category we're going to talk about?
The story and setting,
What's that second category?
the characters in development,
Numero 3.
the art and animation,
Number 4.
the soundtrack,
And finally, that good buddy's wiggle room, that 5th category, that je ne sais quoi. Roger, what does that mean?
I do not know what.
I don't know what. But that's how we're going to do it. Let's get on into it. I got a little quick pitch for you. I got my
Yeah,
notes
man.
here.
Pitch it.
All right. In what seems to be the not so distant future, and I say that because we're going to see a little bit of weird futuristic stuff, there exists a group of super powered teen girls who battle the forces of evil to protect the world. However, the life of these magical girls is not all fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight, because we see and we discover some dark secrets and disturbing ends to these powers. Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah, spooky.
Yeah, man.
You get spooky a little early.
Yeah. And I mean, they use their powers to fight witches. What's more Halloween than witches?
Hell yeah.
I can't think of a bigger mascot other than maybe the jack-o'-lantern.
Skellingman. Maybe a Skellingman.
Yeah.
Nice Skellingman. But yeah, man. So let's talk about it right now. Obviously, as we said, we're going to have to get a little bit spoilery with this one. This show, if you can go in fully blind, that's the way to do it, I think. Yeah. But also, it came out like 9 years ago.
Yeah, people have talked about it.
The thing is,
it's hard to miss somebody who talked about it before because it has a reputation and it has it for a reason. And I would say it's a fairly positive one. People quite enjoy this show, and it did a lot of things for moving more like intense, almost surreal genres, hitting that level of despair.
It's gonna get dark.
Yeah,
it's gonna get grim. It's gonna get grim dark.
Yeah,
and that's fine. Let's just go right into it, man. How about the story and setting? So, it mostly focuses on a young girl named Madoka.
Yep.
She's got a name. Who, along with her friend Sayaka, encounters this little cat bunny thing named Cube. We'll get more into these characters' details in a little bit, but this little sucker claims to be able to grant any wish if they become a magical girl and battle evil witches, along with these other magical girls that are also already extant. They do meet some of these magical girls, including this mysterious transfer student, kind of got a goth streak to her almost.
Yeah.
Hamura Akimi, who seems to be oddly obsessed, just hell-bent on not letting Madoka make this decision. She does not want her to become a magical girl.
Not at all. She does not want her to
Real
make
serious. That wish. As far as the setting goes, takes place in this fictional city called, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Midakahara? Something like that. I said before it's like the not-so-distant future because, man, they got like their chalkboards or LEDs and their freaking desks apparently pop out of the ground or something. I don't know.
Whenever Homer first shows up and the teacher writes her name on the board, you can see the little pixels in there.
Yeah, man. It's interesting.
Cool.
It's interesting. And it gets there's a lot of like futuristic streaks in here and whatnot. But the real fun comes when setting wise when they're fighting these witches because they enter these weird mazes and whatnot that. Oh boy, we'll talk more about those in our
weird,
animation.
Like void worlds, We'll definitely have to get in that in our animation.
We're gonna talk about that. Neat. But you got anything to add to the story and set in there? I mean,
not really. I mean,
most of it's gonna come from the characters.
Yeah, the idea behind it, if you didn't go fully into it, is that Cube, the little rabbit creature, approaches them at a time often in need or something like that. Like, hey, if you would like to alter this situation, if you would like to change something, all you have to do is wish for it, and then you can become a magical girl.
Yeah.
And then what do magical girls do? They fight for the good. They fight witches, they save the world, they protect their friends.
It's almost like too good a deal.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get these super rad powers and be able to fight witches, and he's going to grant a wish?
Yeah.
Where's the downside, my dude?
And you get anything you want, man.
Anything you want, what he does, such a good deal.
Boy.
Come on.
But, could be some downsides, but those humans aren't smart enough.
Downsides. Just sign this contract. Sign this contract. What contract? This contract. Don't worry about it. Sign the contract.
You get the cute little Cube to sleep with you every night. It's
adorable.
Pretty fun.
I'm a little plushy.
But yeah, so
I'm like a Moogle Pikachu.
So essentially, there is baggage attached to this. This wish.
You're gonna see some stuff. I think
And you, like the girls, find out what that baggage is later.
Yes, you will find out as the story goes on. Let's go ahead and just jump to characters in development. I think it's probably not where we might normally start, but I think we should start with Cube.
Yeah.
Because Cube is this cute little cat bunny mascot type thingy. Some kind of magical creature who can turn these young women into magical girls and grant a single wish when he does so. Like we said, great deal.
Yeah.
Where's the downside?
Great deal.
We, of course, find out something darker is happening here. These apparent powers apparently come at some horrible price. And that right there is the main crux of the story. And this little sucker, it's like this little white thing. Kind of looks like body like a cat slash mongoose or what was like a little ferret. But he's got these long bunny ears, these cute little red eyes, these little kitty mouth.
It's kind of like it has the iconic look to like a little mascot character, like on a more surreal, darker anime, Paranoia Agents Moromi.
Kind of like that.
Or if you want to go to a lighter anime, Ryoki from Tenchi Muyo.
Sure.
Yeah.
That little what I don't even remember.
You know
the
what?
name.
If you cross Ryoki with Moromi together, you're pretty close to Cube.
I was gonna say the little thingy from Cardcaptor Sakura, but without wings.
Oh
Kinda
yeah,
looks like that, yeah.
And even Maromi looks. I say he. They look like like a Digimon kind of.
Yeah, he's a cute little baby.
Some sort of Digimon.
Oh, look how cute he is.
Very cute.
Baby. Anyway, but yeah, these powers apparently come at some horrible price, and that's where we get to our main story. And let's go ahead and hit her. Madoka, our main girl, she spends most of the show, like pretty much all of it, as this innocent little baby who's just struggling to understand what's happening and how she can help her friends and whatnot. But the show ultimately, this entire thing is just hinging on, will she or won't she make a wish? Will she or won't she become a magical girl? And on one side, you got Kyubey, who's like, come on, baby, help your friend.
Come on, take a rest.
Take a rest. Come on. Go ahead and get you some magic.
So you have the opposing forces of Kyubey outright trying to get her Madoka to make the wish, and Homura absolutely trying to do anything at any cost to make sure that she does not make this wish for whatever reason.
We don't know why.
Yep.
But she is hell-bent on keeping her from becoming a magical girl at any cost. And Homura Kimi is this mysterious transfer student, magical girl, definitely doesn't want her to become this, doesn't want Madoka to make this deal. And again, we don't know why, we don't know to what end, but she seems to be willing to do pretty much anything to keep it from happening.
Homura she's like the tsundere character too.
Oh yeah,
the tsundere type.
Real serious.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't gonna smile. I got this dark hair. Even my magical outfit is all black and gray. I'm real serious.
Yeah, she's got a little buckler. And I think that's another thing to mention is that all the magical girls get some sort of a weapon attached to them or whatever.
Some kind of weapon or something. We see one girl with she's got a sword, and there's a girl with these spears and
the cool guns.
Cool guns.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got a sword. I have a magic staff. I got a gun.
Yeah, I got
Deal with it.
I got gun.
My power is gun.
But
I'm sorry. I just remembered the scene where I don't remember so throughout the scene you like see all these different fights and stuff with these magical girls fighting these witches, and at one point Homegirl just pulls out a grenade, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she's Homura is like she has a little buckler shield or whatever. But she's a weapon specialist.
It appears to be like a pocket dimension wherein she can keep any number of weapons. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah,
so she's an outright weapon specialist. She is well versed in using any kind of firearm pretty much.
Yeah, it's like, we'll get a little bit off the character development for a second, but there are parts of this show, it is mostly very serious, and based on the subject matter and what you're going to find out about it and everything, it makes perfect sense for it to be. But there are also moments that are kind of real, this absurdist kind of, I can't look at this anyway without thinking it's funny. My God, there's a scene where you just see Homegirl wielding a pistol just straight up.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay, she's got a gun.
Yeah, there are times too where, and these are fairly cutesy looking characters.
Yes.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, cutesy looking character is wielding an RPG.
Yeah. Just straight up pipe bomb.
Alrighty.
Okay. Oh man. We can't talk about too much without getting too spoilery.
It definitely takes, it does sound funny and it is funny, but do not let that fool you. This is very serious.
This show is dark and violent and is not for the children's.
Serious as a heart attack.
You want to talk about Sayaka?
Sayaka is Madoka. She's one of her best friends. She's very outgoing. She's really looking to help people. She's loving. And she's just she's that friend that you want to have. She's a really good friend.
Yes, she's a very good friend.
She looks out for the people around her. She cares about them. And she runs very emotionally high.
Yes, and her development in this series is something that is impossible for us to talk about without just spoiling everything, so we won't. But suffice to say, most of what happens to her is how you get all these dark secrets revealed.
Yeah.
She's pretty much.
I guess that would make sense because I wanted to mention I feel like Sayaka gets the most development of any character in this show.
Easily, you are going to see this girl go through some stuff.
Yep.
More on that later, obviously. Do you want to talk about the rest of them? What else can we say? You got your girl, Mommy.
Yeah, Mommy. She's the one with the guns. Magical girl number 1.
Ooh.
Kyoko, she's the one. She's kind of a.
I really
She's
like
the nice
her.
one. She's the Asuka one.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
Like
she's always eating. She really enjoys her some food.
Yeah, you get a little bit of development with her. Like, I love just. There's a bit where like she offers another character an apple or something, and she just like throws it away, and she gets all up in her face. Is like, if I ever see you wasting food like that again, I'll kill you. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that right there is like a ton of development in one sentence.
Yeah, obviously.
And then you get some more backstory.
Obviously, yeah, she's seen things, and
she's
then
gone through some stuff. Yeah,
it hits you with the backstory soon after that,
real
and
quick.
woo, yeah, it's heavy.
Mm-hmm. It's some good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, these characters are. I would say that they are well development. I would say there are areas I feel like they could develop a little more, but in the 12 episodes they do a good enough job of really making you feel for them, really giving you the backstory on almost all of them. And one of them, their backstory is dark, but like there's just not a whole lot to it.
Yeah,
and that would be one of my critiques of the show whenever it comes to people like Kyoko or what you see Sayaka go through.
Yeah,
you know, that one it's still dark, but like it's a drop, it's a flash in the pan almost compared to some of these other girls, what they go through.
Yeah.
This once again this show is serious, so
yeah.
Don't go in expecting to, like make it through without at least feeling bad somewhat here and there.
Yeah, and like you're right. Yeah. You want to hit the art and animation, big boy?
Yep, let's get into it. Boy, howdy, does it look normal, and then they go into those witch worlds and everything changes.
Yeah, so the witch worlds are where it gets really wild because it has these, it's like these very, like the art, it's mashing up these different art styles and stuff. It, like the witch worlds in particular look like if you just cut, like if you made a collage of a bunch of cutouts.
Yeah, they look like cutouts,
stuff,
like the paper puppet shows.
Yes,
stuff.
It's very strange, very odd, very jarring, and I mean, it's obviously it should visually make you feel like that because it is a very jarring and strange realm you just found yourself in.
And it almost has like a similar coloring and patterning to I've talked about this once before on the show. The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the full-on moving pattern effect. It does a little bit, but the way the patterns are stylized, it looks very similar to that, and it is really flashy. It is.
Yes.
It is freaking awesome.
It's pretty wild.
It's just outright awesome. Like, you need to see, at least check out a couple episodes so you can see what this looks like. So whenever people talk about it, you will know, because it is. Yeah. I'm sure I'll have some sort of video in there, and there will be a little bit of it in here. But watch you a full sequence with it, and it is. It's like, it makes you feel special, kind of like similar like when we talked about Sarah's Zanmai. It had a very real grounded feel to the show, and then you would go into this sequence that was so different from everything else in the show.
Yes,
such a freaking change, a juxtaposition, I guess is a word that I would want to use. That it really takes the animation to the next level. Like, as 2012 as this anime does look for the most part, that sets it apart to something really special that will keep it. Another thing that comes to mind is, you remember Fooly Cooly Alternative, that first scene where
like
she's in there with
watercolor.
Adamus, he's the big creature, whatever.
Sure.
It really sets something, it feels special, and it's going to be something that goes down. Like, this is why the show will be remembered for its style.
Now, I will say, for me personally, like, there are moments. Some of the art feels a little uneven to me. I'll say that, because like there are bits where like most of the fight scenes are super smooth. There's one in particular where it's like basically like you're watching like the shadows of these characters going nuts in this fight scene, and it's absolutely amazing. And then there's bits where they're just standing there talking, and it's like, man, this kind of looks meh, you know. And a lot of that I think does have to do with probably just the age of the thing, but it feels like I can pick out where the budget went in some of the animation.
Yeah, sure.
And that unevenness kind of docks a little bit for me.
Okay.
But for the most part, like, the witch scenes are like wild, and I mean, if nothing else, they're incredibly interesting.
I think having those scenes and they're frequent enough, it really pushes me to the point of where like, okay, I'm gonna put this on you know, an iconic animation tier.
Yes, and I'm with that. It's just like, I don't know, like the character designs in general, like I'm supposed, like I get that it's being conveyed that this is a like super cute normal girl, but like it just kind of looked weird to me. It didn't really hit me right.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like a little bit uneven, I would say.
Okay.
For the most part, it's very, very good.
I don't know that, you know, like if I can see where you're coming from. I don't know if I watched it when it was originally airing, if I would still feel that way.
And see, that's a thing that I'll talk, like, I had a few moments like that in, like, the Je ne sais quoi, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, there's definitely something to watching this now as opposed to watching other things back then that it hit me a little different. And, I mean, I can't really divorce myself from that, so there you go.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Very good.
Yeah,
I liked it.
It's good. It's really good.
Most of the fight scenes are super killer.
Yep,
yeah, and
that
that mixed media with the witch battles is really rad.
Yeah,
I can't deny that. How about the music and sound?
I think the sound design in the show is very, 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 very good.
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought the openings and the closings, they were good, but you know, they're nothing I'm gonna put on my playlist. They were kind of missable to me.
Sure.
But there are some really awesome scenes. Once again, when they go into that witch time, they go full Bayonetta.
When you get that weird like choir in the background, I'm like, oh, it's happening.
Yeah, and there are scenes where there's like a heavy guitar and stuff in there. It's very cool. The way they really fill out that atmosphere is really cool. So I think that just, you know, adding into just the layers and layers and layers they do for those witch scenes and stuff, and the explosions, oh, they sound really good.
Yeah, man.
Got them exploding on my soundbar. I love having a soundbar, by the way.
This guy.
I think the interstitial stuff, the stuff inside the show, is done very well. And I think I could see why people would be drawn to some of the opening and closing tracks, but they were kind of missable to me.
Yeah, the opening and closing worked for me because the opening,
I did like that there were changes.
Yeah. Yes, there are a few changes to the opening and closing in bits, and particularly like there's one episode that just has like a straight up whole different thing that's really good at the ending. I think they worked for me because the opening does a very good job of doing what the beginning of the show does, which is lull you into this false sense of cutesy poots.
Yep.
And then the ending like hits you with like, this is kind of disturbing. Like that ending theme to me felt like I was running through a tunnel, like being chased by something. Fair. And that worked. That worked quite well for me.
Yeah. I think I, you know, like hearing you say it, like, yeah, I guess I kind of caught it because the opening song, I catch on to it more now that you're saying to it. But, you know, I guess just I go into it as such a, like, whenever I listen to opening and closings, that I'm just focused on that one particular thing, and I don't look at it as a whole like I probably should.
You gotta zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta zoom out a little bit.
I gotta zoom out. I'm too far in, man. I'm too far in. I got
guy.
the portrait mode on.
Yeah. But, yeah, like you said, the music during I thought was appropriate. The music and sound like it all worked. None of it was like real, like offensively bad or anything. None of it really like hit my this is super rad.
I thought there were a couple of like notable scenes where I was like, wow, this is really good.
I think I had like more of that with the art and animation than the music, but the music was like it all blended together quite well. So yeah, I'm with you. You want to hit that?
Yeah, dude. I don't know that I have a whole lot to say here other than like this is, you know, before our good buddy Josh suggested to us, I knew that people really liked it, and I would go so far now that I've seen it, like, yeah, this is gonna be like a modern classic or something like that. It's very good for what it does. The sheer lure that it throws out there for you, and then the way it twists it around, and then, you know, the way that it also keeps the mystery of the show alive until the very end. I think the way they pace it and time everything is just right.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of the shows that I wish, like, it got 12 episodes. I wish it would have got 13. I know there's a movie that goes after it.
Yeah, and there's like another
movie,
like series or something.
Yeah, I think that's
totally
that's like tied in with a mobile game or
something like that. Yeah.
But you know, like, I really think it could have used that extra episode or so. But I have, I really enjoyed it. I really, really, really enjoyed it.
You know, for me, I'm with you for the most part. I think this is what I was gonna get at, is that like there are bits of it that, like, I've seen enough stuff now that, like, you know, does the whole like takes the genre and flips it up and like makes it more dark and whatnot.
Yeah.
That it didn't hit me as hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to like kind of like project myself back to when this came out and say, you know, this was like this is like, you know, first thing to really hit that. So it didn't hit me as hard, but that's just like watching it now versus watching it then.
Sure.
So I'm trying to like, you know, ignore that part of it. Furthermore though, I think I liked it a lot. I've never seen the whole thing until this, you know, past couple weeks when I watched through it.
Sure.
I did like more than a year ago, I guess, because it was like I'd found it on Netflix and it was like, oh, I watched the first 2 episodes and I vaguely remember them. But like I remember watching the first 2 and like I was talking with someone at work about this. It's like, oh yeah, we're watching this show, this Madoka Magica thing. He's like, oh, do you love it? It's like, well, I'd already seen the first couple, but I don't remember it hitting me all that well. And they were like, oh yeah, because episode 3 is where it gets wild. And rewatching it, it was like first couple I was like, I'm a little bored, and then episode 3 happened. It's like, okay, now it's clicking.
Yeah,
like that's where it starts getting dark. So if you watch the first couple, give it one more and see how you feel.
I would say that the second episode was where I was really starting to get drawn in. Yeah,
it didn't really hit me until 3.
Yeah,
and even then it was like
Kat was out on the first, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it another. We had to watch it anyway. But the second was where I was like, okay, now I can kind of see something going here. This is pretty cool.
Sure.
And the other thing that I would like to say is that sets this thing apart. I don't want to forget to say this. That, you know, I think that even current anime still don't do well. It's just the level of the way they portray the feelings. I don't know if it's feelings is the right word, but for hope and despair.
Sure.
Like, the whole magical girl thing is all about hope or whatever, but this one works so heavily on the counterpart of hope, which is just despair.
Right. And
I draw my phone.
Nice one, dude. I'm with you. I don't know.
I think it did a really good job.
I think it did fine for what it is. I just don't. There's just little things about it that like didn't quite sit. Like there's this whole sub theme in the show of like sacrifice.
Sure.
And I don't know. It just I get it. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Okay. Because it's like watching. It's the whole thing of like, first of all, you are going to see some little girls suffer in this show.
Yeah.
That is basically what it's about. So content warning, it's gonna hurt. But like, I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like bits of it. And I think that's like, you know, par for the course because with the subject matter of the show, it's hard not to find something that's disturbing about it because it's meant to be disturbing. But like, I don't know, like there's a whole sub theme where like someone uses their wish for this specific person, and then like
she wants to see homeboy shred that Stradivarius one more time. Yes,
but like the whole like how you're. It's just so often that I am watching female characters give up agency or something or freedom or anything for the male character that I was like, whatever. It just was kind of whatever. And then having that kind of like to an like billionth degree with the ending was just again kind of like, okay, sure. Like it's not bad. Nothing about it is bad. It's just it just didn't hit me quite right,
I kind of like how it went because it didn't go the stereotypical route either with it.
I guess.
Well, I mean, like the way that it ends up for her is not necessarily the good obvious route that
well, let me tell you this, I haven't seen that movie that happens, but from what I hear it kind of fucks all that up, so don't watch it.
Okay.
Maybe someone else can give me some more insight there, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part it was fine. I will say this was another thing that like kind of hit me different is so I love me some Sailor Moon.
Sure.
So I even like made an allusion to Sailor Moon at the beginning of this. They're not just fighting evil by moonlight and all that stuff. But a thing with is like there was a couple things in here that like I kind of drew comparisons to, and it hit me different because when I watched Sailor Moon, I was like, the first time I saw it, I was very, very young. Like Usagi as a character is older than me.
Yeah.
And so like for example, we talked about this in another episode. I can't remember what it was, but there was like the kind of opening thing where like you have the character and like, or like the transformation scenes where they're like almost nude and whatnot. And it's like that stuff that like when I was watching that when I was a little kid, I was like, whatever, this is a older character than me, so this means nothing. Whereas this one's like, this is a younger character, so that freaked me out a little bit. But then it was like, well, the show's so disturbing it doesn't matter because that didn't even register.
Oh well, and I think the way that they handle it, it's not in a sort of like fan service
no,
way.
of course not. But
like I think there is a tasteful way, and it was just drawing the illusion to the magical.
And the thing is, like, that's something that in another show I still might have felt kind of weird about because this is like, you know, a middle school girl and you're seeing like her basically nude silhouette with these sparkles on it, and that's weird. Not fan servicey, but it just, you know, it's a thing that I'm seeing. But with this one,
they were well on the timeline to really throw fan service in there, and they
like,
did not take it. So.
No, but like the thing about this one is overall the show was so dark that none of that even registered in my brain. I was just like, this is, I mean, that's the least messed up thing I'm looking at. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's just things about it that didn't quite hit me right. I also saw a thing where like I was talking to a friend about it, and they were like, the same person at work, and they were like, you know, oh yeah, the show's like, you know, it's so much more serious and darker. It's like, you ain't gonna get that Sailor Moon. I'm like, you didn't watch Sailor Moon. A bunch of people die in the first season. The whole spoilers for Sailor Moon, everybody fucking dies at the end, and then Usagi's fighting by herself. Are you kidding me? Dark as hell. Anyway, but yeah, I liked it. It's just, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think that my score will reflect it as well.
I think mine will as well. I definitely. I'm not shitting on the show.
I don't think
it's a
you're
very
shitting
good
on
show.
it at all, dude.
It's just, I don't know. There was bits of it that like just didn't hit me right as all.
Yeah.
Let's hit to those
And I
scores.
think there's that certain level of time behind it too.
Sure.
Probably.
Yeah. If I had seen it when like it first came out, like
it's kind of.
I mean, I was also younger then, so I definitely would have been more receptive to this kind of stuff.
This is, even though my score is, I think, pretty good for this. This is definitely why I prefer doing newer anime, because it's the right then and there or whatever.
Right.
You're never going to be able to have that feeling that people got whenever they watched it as it aired, or whenever it first came out, and nobody was talking about it. Yeah.
Sarazama would not get a perfect 10 if we rated it like 5 years from now.
Yeah.
It probably would.
Yeah, probably not.
All right. God, it's a good show. Anyway, let's talk about it. How about that story and setting, big boy?
I gave it 2 points.
Yeah, 1.5.
Okay.
Characters in development?
I gave that 1.5.
I gave that 2.
Okay.
So there we go, flip-flop. Art and animation?
2 points.
1.5. Music and sound?
I gave it 1.5.
1.5. And the je ne sais quoi?
Je ne sais quoi? I gave it the full 2 points.
I went 1.5.
So what does that take you up to, dude?
That puts me at a 3, 6, 7, 8 points.
8 points.
And a most definitely.
And a most definitely from your good buddy Brandon. I'm 1 point above you at 9 points. I'm giving it the animazing.
Very good, very good.
I like I said, I really enjoyed it. I definitely respect what it did. And I'm glad that Josh kept hammering us to watch it.
Yeah.
I say that mean.
Don't make it sound
that sounds mean, like ham. But he didn't.
He would mention it every now and then.
Yeah, he didn't let me forget.
He'd make an allusion to it.
I forget easily, and he didn't let me forget. And that sounded hammering sounded way wrong. That's not what I meant.
Hey Josh, don't let this bearded bastard stomp all over you like that.
Here.
Stomp.
I'm glad that Josh told us to watch it, and I'm always happy to check out things that the good buddies recommend to us too. So if y'all got more recommendations, throw
we
them
definitely
out
want to
there.
hear about them.
Now it did take us 101 episodes to get to it, but
sorry. God only knows how much longer it's going to be before we do anything else. We'll talk about it in a ramble.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the ramble. I mean, we certainly will have another episode or so out this month, but
yeah, man.
We'll get more into the life stuff that mostly Brandon has been dealing with.
Yeah,
but
man.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun show. I really enjoyed it. I think our scores reflect that we enjoyed it. It's definitely a modern classic. It's going to hit that level.
Some good stuff.
People are going to always look fondly on it. and I think that I will look fondly on it as well. I would definitely recommend it to people.
Sure.
And then the next time we are recording, we have a couple of things that we want to do. I think we'll probably do the Higurashi thing first.
Sure.
So one of my favorites, in the first episode that we ever did, our episode 0, I talked about how much I love this anime called Higurashi, When They Cry. And it just now got a new reboot, I guess. There are some differences in there. It's got a new level of polish. I'm going to talk a little bit about it in the ramble if you want to hear about that. I'm going to, but we're gonna find a good way to go over. We're gonna do like one of the mini, like it's not finished yet, but will we recommend it? And it fits right in time for the spooky season because it definitely has atmosphere. And there's nothing like the season that has atmosphere quite like it. So
This guy.
I'm really trying to sell it. Am I doing a good job?
He's horny for this show.
Oh yeah, I love it.
All right. Well, that'll be next time we are with you, which God only knows. It might be next week. It might be the week after. We'll figure it out. Might be a month later.
Pandemic times are still weird.
Maybe we getting there. Yeah. But for YouTube purposes, thank you so much for listening. We want to, we would encourage you to leave a comment. Let us know what you thought about Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Yep.
And if you have any recommendations, anything else that you want to talk about, we'd love to hear from you. There's a number of ways to do that. We'll have the full plugs at the end of the ramble. But for right now, leave us a comment, subscribe, ring that bell so we can ding your dong.
Check the Discord link below. We're finally getting people in there because, like I said in the last episode, I don't know how to Discord, so the link that I put up was apparently a timed link.
This guy.
It defaults to a time link, which is, that's wild to me, but maybe I am getting old. So we do have a good link below now. Hit the Discord, come chat with us. It's been fun so far. I haven't been able to be as responsive as I want to be because
I'm almost never in there.
Yeah,
if you want to talk to me, please tag me.
Yeah, I have so much editing right now going on that I have not had much time between that and work. But yeah, go check it out, and you guys y'all can start talking, make friends. That's what the whole Discord is for, so we can all hang out and be friends there. But yeah, I think that's the main thing that I want to plug. But anything aside from that, do you want to?
I want to give a shout out to our good buddy Haas, aka Thomas Tastes Better, aka DungeonWitch.
DUNGEONWITCH.
That's for our opening theme on the YouTube review portion of the show, which again we will have the full plugs at the end. But check out Thomas Tastes Better on Instagram and DungeonWitch.
Maybe he should check out these witches
on YouTube. Maybe he should. You gotta have a witch's dungeon.
Yeah, Haas likes anime. He'd probably like it.
Good old Haas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's about it. We're gonna break on into the ramble, full plugs at the end, and if you want to hear us get a little bit spoilery and tell more about what we've been watching and whatnot, check out the ramble.
Yep.
And see ya.